Hey everyone, this is Kate Weatherwise, your favorite weather girl, coming to you on Sunday, January 4th. It is almost 7 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, and this video is concerning the current weather situation from about Texas to the West Coast and what the weather is going to look like through this coming work week. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to take us to the satellite imagery with radar enhancement. This is showing us some continued precipitation still coming into California. I'm going to show us here in a moment the watches and warnings and reports from people locally on the ground in California. We see this digging out of a trough that's coming down into central California off the coast and then back up again. So these coastal areas of Northern California into Oregon and the peninsula of Washington State are seeing the rain here currently, more so down into Southern Oregon and Northern California. And then we see some rain and then mountain snow in the mountains of California. And then we have some rain that's falling into Nevada. And then we have some rain and snow that's falling around the Salt Lake City area. A lot of this system is bringing in, and it's been sort of a consistent thing for this winter so far, these southwest winds. We had about 5 days, 6 days of that cold Arctic air that came in and really cooled things down for this part of the country. You know, the Pacific Northwest into Idaho, Montana, all this whole area in the Intermountain West. You all saw some really cold weather for about 5 to 6 days just after Christmas, but that has totally switched around. We do have some snow for western Montana and into Idaho, but it's not at all what you are used to experiencing. Now, this southwesterly wind is going to continue for this week, bringing in some just slightly above normal temperatures, not too far above normal. We're going to see here on Tuesday time frame into Wednesday, this is going to be a snow watch out area into the mountains. Now I'm going to take us over here really quickly to the National Weather Service showing it's kind of small. I can't really make this bigger, so I apologize. But we see here over in the Cascades of Washington and Oregon, this is a winter storm watch for the mountains, which is a really good thing because these mountains have not seen a ton of snow so far this winter. So that's a good thing. And that is for starting tomorrow into tomorrow night. And then the northern parts of northern Idaho into very northwestern Montana, you all have a winter storm watch as well. And I imagine and I'm expecting this to turn into a winter storm warning here within the next 12 hours or so. You go down into California, and what I was just explaining, all of this is a flood warning and flood watches and flood warnings. This is an active flood warning right here, this bright green, and all of this darker green is a flood watch, and the pinks are in the mountains, and these are winter storm warnings. And then we have a winter weather advisory over here. And then we have some winter weather advisories for Utah into Wyoming and a little bit in Idaho as well. And then down here into Colorado, we have a red flag warning. They are getting a lot of these this winter so far because it's so dry. And then we have those winds that whip up that come down off the mountains, and it really creates that red flag warning, which means if a fire should get started, it could spread rapidly because there's low humidity and higher winds. And that combination tends to put this, whatever area has that combination of weather happening, a red flag warning or a red flag watch goes into effect. So that's what's happening in this part of Colorado. Now, as we go over to the radar, and so I'm going to take us over to the radar, and this is evident here on the, let me see if I can zoom us in. This is evident right here on the radar. There's some landslides that are happening. This is been reported by law enforcement. And if you click on this eye here, it tells us Numerous small slides along roadway on Highway 140. This is around Yosemite Valley, Fish Camp, Oakhurst area in California. So these guys are experiencing some landslides, and this one is also a landslide that has been experienced, and also okay, this is just talking about the thunderstorm, categorical thunderstorm outlook. That's what this box is for. So this area could continue to see some rain through tomorrow. So this is not looking too good here. And if you go to the local radar, which I will do right now, it is showing some rain here. And I'll zoom in a little bit as much as I can. And you can see here that rain that is falling and some thunderstorms. There's enough lift here in the area. There's mountains around that'll give it some orographic lift, and it could create some thunderstorms, which of course will create the potential for flooding and flash flooding in here as well. So California, you are just experiencing, you are under lots of flood watches and flood warnings right now. So that will continue to be the case. And as we go up into Western Washington, I will take us into the radar that's out on the coast here in Washington State. You can see these thunderstorms, well, not thunderstorms, some of them could be thunderstorms. This has a categorical look out for it too, which means there could be some thunderstorms. This line right here could have some thunder with it. This line right here, this patch up here, and this little line that's coming into the coast. That happens a lot this time of year for Washington State as these systems come in off the coast. Let's go ahead and animate this radar, and we'll see it. You can see the rotation out here and this precipitation coming in. So these heavier lines could contain some thunder and lightning, and sometimes you'll get some rotation. I don't think that's going to be the case with these storms, but sometimes you could get some rotation and a very brief, very weak tornado. But that has happened in other storms, but I don't think that's going to be the case here. But that is something to keep an eye out for. Now, as we go now to what is going to happen for this part of the world, part of the country. And again, I'm just focusing on Texas, not even so much Texas, but about from here west in this area right here. We just have system after system still coming in. This is Monday morning, January 5th, and another system coming in it's coming down from the northwest, and then it enters California, bringing with it rain, and then it sort of dies, but it still has some rain with it, and then a high pressure takes over. And if you go up north, this is Tuesday morning. We have another system that's coming into the Pacific Northwest that's going to bring snow to the mountains, more snow. And that is why there is a winter storm watch out right now that will most likely turn into a winter storm warning, as we have this system coming in Tuesday morning that will bring snow or bring rain down in the lowlands and snow into the mountains in the Cascades. And there is a chance for snow in eastern Washington as well as we go through the day on Tuesday. And lots of snow coming in to the Cascades and rain into the lowlands. And then it also brings rain down into Oregon as well. And into the Oregon Cascades, you'll see some snow. Right now, there's a high pressure that's sitting over Colorado. And I have a feeling those conditions for that red flag warning will continue for Colorado until we get some precipitation moving in there. And snow will continue for Idaho and Montana and into Wyoming a tad bit. And then snow continues for eastern Oregon and into the Cascades of Oregon. This is now Wednesday morning, where we do have another system that comes into the coast and to the Pacific Northwest, bringing in more snow. It's going to be a snowy week into the Cascades of both Washington and Oregon this coming week. And California gets a little bit of a break until about Wednesday with some showers that will pop up in Northern California. However, snow continues for the Cascades and into the mountains of Idaho as well. So And this is through Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. More snow in the mountains of the Cascades. So this is going to be a good week for the mountains and the Cascades of Washington and Oregon to see that snow. And then we pop over here to the Four Corners area where we see some snow into the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, which will be a really good thing. You see the blue lines coming down and reaching all the way down into Colorado, and that is a good sign. Hopefully they will get a good dumping of snow down into Arizona, into the higher elevations of Arizona and New Mexico, into the mountains. There's lots of ski areas and ski spots down there as well with a low pressure system. And this is persistent through Thursday as well, as we see snow over here into the Four Corners. So that's a really good thing. So this is going into early Friday morning, January 9th. And then we have another system coming in to the Pacific Northwest that again brings snow to the mountains and rain to the lowlands. And that is a good thing. Mountains of the Pacific Northwest into the inland Northwest, into the Mountain West, into Colorado, and these areas, you all are going to be in a good position for some snow. Cascades all week long into the Intermountain West of Colorado and the Four Corners by the middle of the week towards the end of the week. So that is looking good. So as we end here on Friday night into Saturday morning, it starts to quiet down out here. So the beginning of the week into the middle of the week, it looks like a pretty active week for the West. As I just mentioned, lots of snow in the mountains for the Cascades in Washington and Oregon. California, you're going to continue with more rain in the beginning of the week, and you'll start to dry out towards the middle to the end of the week, which will be a good thing, but it will mean you'll have time for more cleanup from all of the rain and the mudslides and the landslides and the flooding that you have experienced so far in the latter half of December of 2025 into 2026. So that's what we look like for this coming week, with a high pressure ending on a high pressure note on Saturday. But you'll get some snow in the mountains here, and that is good news. And the rest of the Intermountain West will see some snow as well, with some rain for the lowlands and snow in the mountains of the Cascades. And Eastern Washington, you all will have a good chance for some snow on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. So I will keep everyone posted and keep sending out more updates, more reports. And yes, I can't wait to do more. All right, guys, that is it for now. And this is Kate Weatherwise saying bye for now.